eat a loon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My perfectly peeled loon.
Yes.
What?
That's so silly.
It is really silly, but it's going to make a lot of sense. You are the loon. You're nothing but the loon. And today we are making, I mean, it is the quintessential of everything.
Yes.
Let's tell them. We're doing our best mashed potatoes. And folks, these are the best. There's a few tricks that we're going to show you, little tricks.
It's an art.
Well, I mean, so everyone's made, well, not everyone, but people have made mashed potatoes in many different ways. And, you know, you can mash them, you can smash them, you can blend them, you can do all sorts of things.
And everybody has their favorite way, but we're going to show you what
We're going to show you
is.
what we think is great. And I think it produces the most creamiest, fluffiest, most delicious potatoes ever in the world. So
I don't need anything else on my plate except for those potatoes.
I know, it's just a giant plate but you do load up the plate. And these are, I'm telling you, during the holidays, Thanksgiving, holidays, Christmas time, I mean, you want to have something like this on your table.
Yes.
So let's get talking about this. So we're going to start off. It's important to choose the right potatoes when you want to make the best ever mashed potatoes. So you don't want to use anything that's overly waxy. And a waxy potato is like a red bliss, any kind of a red potato. Russet potatoes are very starchy, and they would be perfectly fine in this. But we think that somewhere kind of in between makes a really great potato. And for that, we love using gold potatoes. Like Yukon Gold are really, really good.
Yes, those are so good too.
So that's what we've got here. So we've got 4 pounds of those. I've peeled. I make sure you peel them. Now, some people like to leave them on. We do that a lot of times, and that certainly makes it easier.
Give them a little rustic feel.
And there's a way. It does. I mean, and the skin is very nutritious. But there's also a way. There's a method that you can leave these skins on, and then get them removed right before you boil them. I'll tell that in just a moment, or after you boil them. But anyway, let me show you how we do this. It's, you know, when you're cooking anything like this, uniformity in size of the pieces is really important. So you don't have to get out a ruler, but try to keep them all approximately the same size.
So they all cook at the same time? They cook,
because if you don't do that, then the smaller pieces are going to cook more faster than the larger pieces, and then then you're going to have some that are mushy and then some that aren't. But these are all relatively about what do you say? That's about an inch to 2 inches in diameter. So anyway, okay. So now what we're going to do is you're going to get a pot that'll fill that.
Look at this.
And
I love this pot. It's so cute.
Like a little medium stock pan, whatever you got. And we're going to add the water to it. So you transfer that with no heat on. Yeah. And then what we're going to do.
I don't want to lose any of these precious
potatoes. Don't lose your spuds. All right.
I don't want to lose my spuds.
Okay, you're doing well.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to,
you get so impatient.
Well, I'd like to finish in the year that we're doing this. Okay, now we're going to just pour in.
Careful.
I know. Okay, you want to do this till it covers it by about an inch or so.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn this baby on.
Now we're going to salt this water. This is about a tablespoon of salt. It's not going to impart a ton of salt, but it'll just lightly salt it. And then we're going to salt the potatoes really sufficiently in just a moment. So now this is great. This is so easy, and we're going to show you how you can do this kind of in advance once we get to that point. But we're going to bring these to a boil, and then we're going to reduce the heat and let them simmer. Because we've cut them down, they're going to cook pretty quickly. Yeah. So they only go about 15 minutes, maybe 20. Then we're going to show you how to mash them and to make real. Well, we're not going to mash them. We're going to rice them. But we'll show you that in just a moment. Oh, we are getting so close to the world's best mashed potatoes. I'm so excited.
And I've worked so hard.
You have. I mean, as always. Okay, so let's talk about this. So now what we did, you saw that we brought that to a boil. You can, if it's a crazy boil, you can reduce it. You just want a nice simmer for about 50, because it's going to build up that heat. So it's already starting to cook those potatoes. So
and give it a good stir every once in a while.
Give it a stir every now and then. That's a good point. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. Yeah. And then after 15 minutes, they should be really good and ready to go. So the way I do just to test that is I lift a couple up, I get a sharp knife, and if it can easily pierce it, then it's good to go. You don't want to overdo it, because then they start to disintegrate and they start taking on too much water, and that's not good. Right. You want them just when they're good and cooked.
Well, these are nice and hot right now.
These are hot. So then what I did was I brought them over to the sink very carefully with some oven mitts, and then I just poured them into this nice big colander. Let them drain for a couple minutes, but you want to make sure they're still hot. So okay, now we're going to talk about some secret things to make things really, really fluffy. Yay. At this point, You could absolutely use one of these guys, which is a masher. And that's okay. I mean, I've done that many, many times. What you do not want to do, let me just say this now, don't put these in a blender and don't put them in a food processor. They will turn into like a gummy mess, and that's a big, big no-no. But what's a good yes, that was a no-no. This is a yes, is to use what right here is called a ricer. So you can, what a ricer does is, and it's funny that it's called a ricer because you'd think it has something to do with rice. It's really just because when it exudes out of this, it kind of looks like rice. Okay, so what this is, it's just a contraption that's going to make it really, really fluffy, and it's just going to reduce these potatoes into just this consistency. Good. And usually a ricer like this, they a lot of times they come with 3 different attachments that have different size holes. You're going to want to go with the attachment with the largest hole on this, okay? And then you just slip it in right like that. And then you're going to put this in there to hold it in place. This is always a little tricky. Okay, there we go. And then see how it's got that where you can even like set it on the bowl? You can do that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to just start transferring these.
Spoon them in.
Spoon those potatoes in.
Now make sure you don't get one in it.
Well, if you do, it's it's pretty easy to solve that problem. Okay, so now this is really fun. I just feel like it's a science fair project. Okay, so now we're going to push that. It's like I said, it takes a little coordination, and then you just
a little.
Look at that.
There, that's awesome.
Isn't that really, really cool? I guess I'm such a foodie that things like this just really excite me.
Totally.
Okay.
Me too.
I know. It's kind of like Play-Doh. That's what it is. I was trying to think, what does this remind me of? It's Play-Doh. That's why it's so much fun. But look at that. So it looks like giant rice, really.
This process just makes these potatoes so creamy and fluffy.
Yes, so before it does, and it's that process. So there's another tool that you can use. And when we moved from New York to New Jersey, somehow or another, I lost my.
New Jersey to Texas.
I'm sorry to Texas. I lost my food mill. So there's a contraption called a food mill, and you can do it for tomatoes or potatoes like this. But the great thing is you can leave the skin on, and it just.
So you boil them with the skin on, and then you put them in the food mill,
and then you put them in the food mill, and it just I mean, that's even easier than this because you don't have to peel all these potatoes, which is great. But still, these are super easy to find. I've got a link to it in the blog. And when we come back, we're going to be ready to really
this lovely stuff in there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Isn't that a bowl?
Look at this pile of deliciousness.
I know. I mean, so perfect mashed potatoes require just a few ingredients, and we've got them all right here. So you've got the potatoes perfectly riced. Now this is. Mashed potatoes have to be good and buttery. They just have to be buttery.
I'm so excited.
I know. It's like his daydream. So this is a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks of unsalted butter that is melted. Okay? Now what's really important about that, why he is like just in awe of the amount of butter, it's we've got 4 pounds of potatoes here, so look how that's just becoming.
Look at that.
It's just so, it's really, really important that we do the butter before we add anything else to it, because that butter is going to adhere to the starch. And what that means is just every bite is just going to be good and buttery. If you add,
Lord.
Here we have warmed cream. This is actually half and half. Can they see this okay?
No,
you can use either all heavy cream, you can use all milk. I like to go with a combination of the two, which is half and half.
Right.
I start off with a 1 3/4 cups. Go anywhere you're gonna. This is one of those things. It all depends on taste. If you like them really creamy, which I like them on the creamier side.
I like them with a little texture.
He likes them on the thicker side. So that's But look how, I mean, is that, now just go ahead and stir it. It's okay.
I am stirring.
Well, you get, okay, and now this is at the point that we can add some salt. Now, salt is another key point. If you ever had mashed potatoes and they're just like, it's missing salt, that's the worst. So, but you don't want to oversalt, because remember, excuse me.
You can't take it away.
Once you add it, you can't take it away. So I think you can have a little more cream.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is,
pour
like I said, he likes it. He likes it with some thickness to it, so we're not going to use all cup and 3/4.
Oh, we could. I mean, if you
Well,
want.
whatever.
I'll sacrifice.
Oh, thanks. You're so giving. So anyway, so now,
look at
so
that.
while he's doing that, so 2 teaspoons is good. Then taste it. Make sure that it's going to, before you serve it, that the salt level is exactly the way you want it. And we usually find that about 2.5 teaspoons is the right amount.
Yes.
If you like them, I love my mashed potatoes good and salty.
Yeah, me too.
But I know. And this is one of those like special moment type things. You probably shouldn't eat these for
look at
every single meal.
that.
That's a beautiful bowl. That's the way mashed potatoes should look, at least in the way I think about it. That's a good job. You did a good job there.
Thank
Lynn.
you. Do you want to put any more cream in there?
Let's do just a little bit more.
Okay.
So while you're doing, I know it's a
getting
workout.
tired.
Well, you're working up an appetite. So now these are obviously really popular to do at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thanksgiving is all about timing, and anything that you can do in advance is great. So I'm going to show you
Yes.
what you can do.
What can
is
you
you
do?
can make these in advance. You can make these hours in advance. And what I do, you saw the stock pan that we cooked that we boiled the potatoes in. I just would transfer this back into it, and if you've got another large pan, anything that you can,
I gotta
that's
sweat.
good.
That is
Wesley.
perfect.
That is a beautiful bowl of potatoes.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, then what you can do is fill that a larger pot with water, get that water simmering, and then just submerge that pot in there, and you can cover it with foil, and it keeps it gently warm until you're ready to serve it. I do that every Thanksgiving, and it works perfectly. Yes.
Yes.
And he makes the spuds he does the mashed potatoes. And you did a good job.
Thank you.
All right, let's
All right.
dole this up. Usually we have a big old thing of turkey, but today what are we having for dinner tonight?
Potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. Wow, look at that. Isn't that a beautiful? Well,
Yeah, here you go.
Okay.
Well, where's the turkey?
I know. That's coming, folks. We're going to show you a
Now,
turkey.
I like to do a little ground black
yeah.
pepper on top of that.
Obviously, that is such a beautiful.
There you go.
And then, you want a little more?
No,
Okay.
I'll-
Now,
I'm sure
another
I'll-
really great thing is to when you're serving this, is to add just before you put a few dollops. You can even
Yes.
pour some more melted butter over it. We do that.
All right, are you done talking?
I don't know. There's a lot. This is a simple dish. But
Look at
there's some
that, you guys.
tips that
That
really
looks
make it
so delicious.
that make it perfect. Well, It is probably the perfect.
I always do a cheer after I eat.
You know,
Wow, y'all.
fluffy, buttery,
It is
delicious.
so, look at that. This,
I mean, I'm also a gravy freak. I love.
I don't need any gravy on
but
this.
these are so good. Oh my.
wow. They're so, and the salt is just
Is it?
perfect.
Okay, good.
Just
So that was
perfect. A little
2.5
more would have been too much. I
Okay,
think.
good.
And it's so nice, and it's still got some creaminess to it, but I still have some texture in there.
I mean,
and
look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
And
It's 100% Loon approved.
yes, gobble that
Yes,
up.
put this on the dinner table, and I will eat it all up.
That is a beautiful thing.
Y'all, seriously, I could sit here and eat this all night.
This is
Wow.
what people say. Why have you lasted so long? It's because of mashed potatoes. Oh, it's so good. It's so
Now,
good, you guys.
You can get this recipe on howtofeedaloon.com.
I love mashed
Now,
potatoes.
are you also going to have a ricer, the link
Yes,
to the
I
ricer
said
on
that.
there?
You're going to have a
Okay.
ricer and a link to a food mill. And anyway, try it. They're not expensive. And you can get them at most stores that sell any kind of kitchen products. Chicken. Oh, these are so good.
So good. Oh, now, are you going to tell them to like us and share?
So like, share, go to our social media, like us, and you know the rest. Love each other. We love you. Make mashed potatoes.
It's so good, y'all.
Be thankful.
Yes, be thankful.
Spudalicious. Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Now, if you want to be a part of the Loon fun, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you won't miss a single recipe.
That's right. Oh, and speaking of recipes, if you want another amazing recipe like this, then just click right here.
Yeah, click.
Click.
Subscribe.
It's so much fun.